Hi, Catriona. Yeah, I'm having a great afternoon. And Carolyn is out using public Wi-Fi. Okay, I'm glad it's working. So there's just the two of you over there and me over here. But this is never a numbers game. It's all about quality. So let's begin. Let's raise our Kundalini and give ourselves a bandhan. My wife's just come home. That's one of our dogs saying hello. Carolyn, if you're outside in public and you can't sit waving your arms around, you can just use your attention to raise your Kundalini and give yourself a bandhan. Our dogs aren't very obedient. Normally one word from me and they do what they like. So let's put our attention at the base of our spine. This is the Muladhara chakra. It's the most important one. Mula in Sanskrit means the root, and adhara means that which sustains. So you've probably come across the word dharma, which a lot of people wrongly translate as religion. Dharma is that which sustains you. It's a very subtle idea. It's not as simple as stuff that you believe. And welcome Ludita as well. I'm assuming that Ludita knows a bit about this meditation. So we should be already starting to feel in our hands the state of our subtle energy system. Optimally, if we feel cool in the center of both palms, that's good. And any tingling on the fingertips will show us where there's an imbalance in some of the chakras. So I'm particularly noticing my two pinkies. And that's the center of the heart chakra. And by the way, it's also Ireland. Because the earth itself has the same chakra system as we have, and Ireland is important within that scenario. It's the center of the Anahat. So we'll begin by clearing that imbalance. So if you just look down and roughly in the center of your chest, if you take your right hand and draw just little circles in a clockwise direction looking down, and every now and again, as if you're pulling something out of it, just pull something out and throw it away. Now there's a mantra for this. In fact, there are mantras for each part of each chakra. And I'm going to say it just to see if it clears this imbalance. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Jagadamba Durga Mata Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devye Namo Namaha. And the tingling on my pinkies have gone. So I thought I'd play you two parts of the talk that Sri Mataji gave back in 1991. It's about the Sahasrara chakra. So I'm going to play the beginning and then I'm going to move to a section further in. So let's see, keep your attention at the top of your head as you're watching this, so you can watch it in a meditative state. And there are actually subtitles for those of us who aren't able to hear Sri Mataji's words very well. So here we begin.
To celebrate the Sahasrara Day, which was opened in 1970 on this date, I find this beautiful canopy is like our Sahasrara. And so very apt to have this beautiful arrangement for Sahasrara. We have to understand what happens when the Sahasrara opens. When the Kundalini passes through the 5 centers, it enters into the area which we call as limbic area. This area is all surrounded by 1,000 nerves. And when these nerves get enlightened, they look like flames of Vibji or colors, 7 colors, and very mildly, beautifully shining, emitting peace. But when the Kundalini starts emitting its vibration on the sides, all these nerves get enlightened gradually and start moving on all directions, opening the Sahasrara. And then the Kundalini, What's this noise about? Emerges out through the fontanelle bone area, which we call as Brahma Randhra. Randhra means the whole, and the Brahma is the all-pervading power of God's love. So it enters into the subtle energy which is all-pervading, which we do not feel normally. But then the Chaitanya, the vibrations which are the part and parcel of this energy, all-pervading power, the Parama Chaitanya, they start entering into our brain and showering their blessings in the limbic area they assemble. Now the limbic area is connected to all the area of the brain and also to the nerves. So it starts flowing onto the nerves, giving you the new awareness of collective consciousness called as Samuhik Chetana. So you get a new Chetana, a new awareness, which is showered upon your limbic area. The working of these Chaitanya waves is very interesting. They are normally formed like small commas, but then they go into different forms. They make themselves into swastikas as the four-limbed symbol of innocence, or they become the Omkara, as you know how Om is written, which is the symbol of our doing, our awareness. So when they form the swastika, they try to nourish the left side, and when they form the Omkara, they nourish the right side. Left and right sympathetic nervous system they nourish. But Sahasrara is to be kept open is rather difficult for people, because it's a vicious circle. First, these vibrations should enter into your brain through the Brahmarandra when it is opened out, and they should nourish your nerves, by which your left and right side open out, and so more Chaitanya can flow down all these centers. But if your Sahasrara is not properly opened, this process doesn't take place. As a result of that, the chakras don't open, the Kundalini only as very few strands is kept in the spinal cord, and the new strands cannot rise because your chakras are not open. So in Sahaja Yoga, it is very important to keep your Sahasrara open. Otherwise, there's a vicious circle.
So there's a big problem, potentially. See, when you first get your self-realization, just a few strands, if you can imagine like the strands of a rope, come up from your Muladhara. They come up through the 5 centers above that, and they pierce the area at the fontanelle bone, and then connect to the all-pervading power. So the more you meditate, I don't mean hours at a time, I just mean if you do it consistently for 10 minutes morning and evening and regularly, the more you do that, the more strands of Kundalini will come up through your spinal column and actually establish itself. Now, you have to be careful because you have to keep that Sahasrara open. Otherwise, your attention goes back to the level of your brain and your mind, and you're back to where most people are. So, I'm now going to play another bit of the same talk. I'm having a wee bit of difficulty holding this iPhone, but I apologize and we'll do our best. Okay.
It is manifested. It is all built, no doubt, but it is not yet manifested. And how will it manifest? That's what people ask me, Mother, how will it manifest? Through your past, you have learned that you have to be afraid of this, you have to be afraid of that. Also in this lifetime, you have learned many things. For a child may put his hand to the candle, won't feel be frightened. But a grown-up will, because an experience. With the experience, gradually you built in that reaction of reflex within you so that you try to save yourself. Now, what experience you should have to build that in your heart is the point. And the experience is of your own divinity, of your own spirituality. Once you start developing that experience, then you know that you are a divine person. Unless and until you are aware fully that you are a divine person, howsoever faith you may have in me, the recognition is not complete, because who is recognizing me is a blind person. If a blind person is recognizing me, it won't have that response of the heart. So first you have to recognize yourself to be a divine person, to have faith in yourself. We do not have faith in ourselves, though we are Sahaja Yogis. If there's any problem, they'll write a letter to me.
So this is why I'm playing you this talk, because we all need to ultimately recognize the divine within ourselves. And if we can't do that, we really can't make much progress. By the way, just take a look at the size of that candle flame. And if you compare that with what it was when we began our meditation, you'll see just how much higher it is. And you know, I noticed this when I first started meditating 26 years ago, that the deeper my meditation, the higher that candle flame would be. So the essence of Sahaja Yoga is that it's a higher state of consciousness. It's called Turiya, the fourth state in Sanskrit. And we get there thanks to the work that Sri Mataji did, because she uniquely found a way of giving this Kundalini awakening, this en masse realization, and that's never happened before. But all the great religions of the world say the same thing, that the kingdom of God is within. But for obviously, most of their practitioners don't experience that. So you have to start to recognize the divine within yourself, within these chakras, within the vibrations you feel when you're in thoughtless awareness. You have to keep your attention as you're in the Sahasrara, as you go through your day-to-day life. So let's meditate. I'll play a wee bit of music. If you find thoughts coming into your mind, just say, not this, not this. Or you can use the Sanskrit and say, neti, neti, N-E-T-I, which means the same thing, and the thoughts will disappear. So just one more minute. So we can slowly open our eyes. And again, let's raise our Kundalini and give ourselves a bandhan. So if you have any questions at any time, don't hesitate to ask. I promise you there are very few really bad questions. Most of them are actually excellent. And if you don't know the answer, it's better to ask and find out. So isn't it amazing that us 5,000 kilometers apart from each other. We can feel these vibrations, this energy, this Param Chaitanya. It's not about distance. It's not confined by distance. I wanted just to say to you, there's a technique that I really recommend to you. It's called foot soaking, and it isn't actually unique to Sahaja Yoga. As I understand it, this was a technique that Muhammad taught. But here's how you do it, and here's why it's important. You buy yourself one of those plastic washing up bowls, you know, that you can do the dishes in, and keep it just for this purpose. So especially in the evenings when you meditate, but maybe in the morning too, depending on how you feel, put enough lukewarm water in it to just come over your ankles, and then add a handful of salt. So table salt will do. If you can find it, sea salt is better. And dissolve the salt in the water. So you meditate as you usually do, but this time with your feet in the water for 5 or 10 minutes. And at the end, keep a jug of clean water beside you, and rinse your feet off and dry them on a towel, and throw the water down the toilet and rinse the bowl, and only use it for this purpose. Here's why it works. Salt water is an electrolyte, and it'll take any negativity you've picked up during the day out of the bottom 3 chakras and into the water. So it's a way of clearing yourself out, and you'll sleep like a baby. So give it a shot. Living in New York, we do it most days, twice a day, and it really makes a difference. So thank you for coming online. I hope you enjoyed the meditation as much as I did. It was a really deep meditation, and look forward to meditating with you again soon. Bye-bye.